has thrown a lot of widows into untold hardship and all. My friend came in over the weekend and we were having a conversation of her mother's tenants in Nigeria, back home in Nigeria, who suddenly came home with things that, like household items. And the landlady, who is my friend's mom, asked, "Oh, where are you coming from with all this items?" The brother passed on, and they've just got to the house to send the wife away, and these are the things he came back with. So, we have such incidents because we do not practice the culture that prepares against eventualities. If you are to even talk about will, everybody will say God forbid and all of that. And we know the resultant effect of all of this. So, when it comes to the plan a man should implement in his household, I'm going to leave that to the men to talk about, really, because I've just been able to talk about the impact of not having these plans in place on the widow in case of eventuality. Then, should your wife be your next of kin? That's a big one, but eventually I would say that everyone knows the dynamics of their home and what they practice and all of that. So if you are in good accord with your wife and all those things and everything is smooth and right, yes, why not? The wife can be the next of kin. The children can even be the next of kin. And like I said, the men would speak more about that on what steps they would rather take. But if you've got a partner who is dependable, how do you marry someone you can't depend on? Yes, we know that things happen later on and all of that, but above all, the focus should be the future of the children you have together. What would become of them now, and it would happen. Then we also have the boundaries that should be set between a man's nuclear and extended family. Yes, I think that it's more a male-centered question too. But as a wife too, we also have a role to play in setting these boundaries. Yes, be kind, be warm, be loving, be acceptable to your in-laws. But then there should also be mutual respect and in the way we relate with each other and handle the affairs of the family. What could Mohbad had done better to protect his nuclear? But I don't want to. I know that this would extend much more into the later in the evening, and I don't want to talk about everything at once because this part is very extensive, and if I like the way I would actually want this should be something that we all can then come together and talk about. It is really extensive. There are a lot of things he could have put in place and all of that. And we can come back to that. So that will be it from my end for now. And when we go around, I'm going to make more contributions. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Freedom. I'll be going next to Mr. Pythagoras. I just want us to have a male perspective on this next after Freedom. then I'll come back to Lilibeth. Mr. Pythagoras, are you there, sir?
Yes, okay. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so are we talking about the opening now, or we are diving straight into the discourse?
Yes, I just wanted us to take it one after the other, but I think Freedom just wanted to have a go at once. So I think we should start with the first topic. We'll let it go around so that we don't muddle it up and we can pick points from each of the segments.
Okay, that's fine. So 4 plans that a man should have or should implement in his household, because anything can happen at any time. Every right-thinking person, every right-thinking man, or even beings generally, you should always have a plan. There should always be something there in case of every thinkable circumstances. Because this life is one life. In a way, it is borrowed. We don't have control over it. Anything can happen at any time. And even when you're no more there, as a man, as a woman, there should be something that will keep the people you left behind going on. And one of those things is to make sure your family is independent. You have to put a plan in place to make them independent. Independent of not just outsiders, independent of you yourself. They need to know how to live on and cope well with the environment, with circumstances, even in your absence. There's this thing they say is a basic instinct for human beings. It's self-preservation. Everybody wants to live on. Nobody wants to die. Anything that will put anybody in harm's way, we have this basic instinct of avoiding them, of fighting against it. Even a baby, everybody has this instinct. You cannot, it's just like you throwing somebody in the water, suddenly they will fight all they can just to make sure they survive. That is that instinct. Everyone has it. Even animals, they have that instinct. But a right-thinking man would want to take that a step further. And that is where self-immortalization comes in. You have to find a way of extending yourself even beyond your physical death. You have to find a way of making sure you live beyond, either through linking or through other people. You have to live beyond your physical person, your physical death. That is what every right-thinking man should be thinking at every point in time. You have to put plans in place, plans that will extend you beyond death. And that is the plan I believe we want to talk about today. And these plans are just basically 2. You can break it down into thousands, but at the end of the day, it comes down to just 2 plans. It is either your actions while you're alive, and the other one is your last testament, your will and your last testament. Those are the only 2 things, the only 2 plans you can put in place to protect your loved ones, to protect your own legacy too. Because protecting your loved one is the same thing as protecting your legacy. We are saying this with the foundation that the people we're talking to, they've married right. The people we're talking to, they have chosen their partners rightly. Because if none of that happened, then we might be talking to the wrong set of people. But then if you've chosen your partner right and you've married right, then you see that there is every need for you to protect your nucleus family, your immediate family. And how do you do that? It is through your actions while you're alive. They say even a dead can speak from the grave. Yes, you can speak from the grave through the actions people have seen you carrying out while you were alive and through your last testament. So a good man should make sure he prepares his household for every thinkable circumstances or challenges. While you're alive, there is always an opportunity. Opportunity will always come to prepare them. Part of it is making sure they have the right education. Part of it is making sure they have the right exposure. Part of it is making sure they know the right people to associate with while you're alive. This is all trying to prepare them for every circumstances. Because if you talk about education, if that is not there, the challenges will come that only people who are well educated will be able to scale through. And if they are not properly prepared for this, then at that point they'll be in trouble. And you won't be there always. You won't be there to help them scale through that trouble. Another thing is that you have to prepare your household to be independent. Even when you're no longer there, you have to give them all the necessary tools they need. Everything, you have to leave them with it while you're going. Of course, you don't know when you'll be going, but then at every step, every day, make sure you keep hammering it in. Make sure in fact, you keep telling them to live their lives as though anything can happen at any time. Those are the plans you need to put in place, because shit happens in life, and they will always happen. It's just that we don't know the time. But when we have the plan, and the plan is nothing if you don't implement it. You can have the best plan, but then you need to put it into implementation. It has to be active while you're alive. If these plans are not active, if you've not given them the right connections, if you've not given your immediate family the right standing while you're alive, if when you're alive, people know that they can talk to your spouse anyhow, people know that they can treat your kids anyhow, then what will stop them from doing so when you're not there? While you're alive, people know they can come to your house and take things out of this entitlement belief, even when you're there. Stop your own people, your own immediate family from stopping them when you're no longer there. Because all you have succeeded in doing is telling them, this is what I want, this is how it should be. Yes, they have right to everything in this house. They have right to everybody here. They can decide who gets this or who gets that. But if through your actions while you're alive, you've been able to let people know, because this plan is eventually going to link to all other questions I'm sure we're going to discuss today. Because if your extended family knows where the line is, if they know where the line is between them and your immediate family, then most problems would have been solved even before they arrived, before you even see them. But then, if they don't know these things, if your own immediate family also don't know what belongs to them, if you've not given them that sense of whatever is yours is theirs, if that sense of belonging is not there, then it will be difficult even starting a fight when you're not there. So these plans, whatever good plans you have for your family, it must be implemented while you're alive, and that can only be done through your action. You can now go a step further by having it in your will and your last testament. That is when it now becomes solid. Because even if you have it in your will and your last testament, that everything I have in the whole world goes to my first child or goes to my wife. And while you were alive, people know that you're not in good standing with this particular person. you have said bad things or you've allowed people to say bad things about this person without countering them, then you have prepared a ground for anybody to challenge your last will and testament. Because if it is evident, if it is clear that it doesn't even like this person, then people can now start thinking, oh, maybe even this last will is a fraud. Maybe something has happened here. It's because you've been silent. Your inaction while you're alive, in fact, not just your inaction, your actions too. Because it's either positive or negative. Your actions while you're alive have given them the ground, the foundation to challenge your action while you were dead. So you must be proactive. It's good to have a will. It's good to have a last testament and now know how to distribute everything. But then it is also very critical to speak up, to act while you're still alive. So 2 actions, 2 plans. The plan of making your family independent, that's the actions you're taking while you're alive, and also your last testament. So I'll pause here for now on that particular question 1. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That was a very insightful submission. Lilybeth, you can have a go now. Lilybeth, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Good evening, everybody. Mr. Pythagoras has said almost everything I need to say. But what I would like to add is being independent and making your spouse and your children, independent of you. So, like when you're not there, they can stand on their own. So, I think we're using Mohbad's case as a case study. I think most men or our men should actually learn to be supportive, like support the wives. If it's business that she's good at or anything she's good at, make sure she's, established in it so that if you're not there, she can always stand on her own. Because I think I've seen an interview where Umi's cousin said she used to be a rapper and, she had to drop all that because of Mo. So let's assume he also invested in a music career, like as he was investing in his own, he made sure she also, she was good in her own too, instead of just dropping it. Maybe she would, she'll have something to fall on. Or even if it's a business she needed to start while he was alive. And it wasn't just about, Well, I can also understand because she's still a nursing mom. She was still a nursing mom when he died. So, of course, yeah, I'm sure he had plans for her. So that's one thing couples should always look into, like make sure if the wife is supposed to be a businesswoman, let her be established. Whatever she needs to do, let her be established so that she can always stand on her feet when you are not there. So I think that's one thing. Then another one is I believe all couples, like myself and my husband, everything we own, I mean property-wise, they are in our kids' names. So I think that's something that Mood tried to do with the land with Liam's name on it. So I think that's one thing couples should do. Because when the husband dies now, they can come and say, oh, since it's Mr. and Mrs., so therefore they want to claim the property. Do you understand? So that's another way. I think couples should go about it. I'm not too sure I works so yeah, I think that's one way they can go about it. What else? Okay, I'll stop here for now. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Lilybeth. I just wanted to point out, let's not forget to infuse Mohbad's situation. That's what the topic is about. Using Mohbad as a case study. So I'll go to Mr. Oluwatosin. Are you there, sir?
Good evening. I greet everyone specially. I hope you all can hear me. Yes, using Mohbad as a case study has been said. One thing I would also like us to put into consideration is this. Let us look at the age factor of Mohbad and his wife before he died. Mohbad was just 26, the wife was 24, and 26 years, 24 years. These are just young people who are just starting life. So what exactly do they know? What exactly do they even understand about life itself and how it works? Now, let's take it, a bit back at where these people are coming from, especially Mohbad himself. Mohbad is actually like an hustler who became, should I say, the breadwinner of the family at a very tender age. The whole responsibility, the whole pressure of the family was actually on this guy's shoulder. He actually took his first step towards maybe stardom and maybe like achieving his goal when he won that viral music competition. Then from there he signed to Malian Record. This guy has not even really enjoyed life at stretch for 3 years. Because yes, he signed Malians, is it 2020? As of 2022 was when he had the NDLA issues. And since then, after the 2022, it has been from one problem, one issue to the other. So this guy has not even enjoyed life. But thank God he has, a supporting wife and partner who did not put herself first. And I guess maybe that was even a mistake. Because had it been Wunmi has actually put herself first, maybe we might not be at this point whereby, we are even talking about justice or whatsoever, or maybe even discussing this topic. But, he was so lucky to have a partner, not just a wife, but a partner who saw his vision, who saw his dream, his goal, and she keyed into it even at a very tender age, sacrificing a whole lot, even her own future, pausing it in order to support this guy so that, he could actually get somewhere. Now, this guy starts making money, few things here and there. What exactly did he do first? It was actually to go back home, taking care of his father, his family, his siblings, and every other thing. So, and these are young people who feels like, okay, there are still greater good ahead. Okay, let us settle these people, let them be okay, then, we are going to move ahead. And that was why maybe even before Wunmi could even think or even like buying a car for herself, or even Mohbad think before he thought of maybe like, let me buy a car for my wife, he first bought a car for the father, either they call it jalopy or whatsoever. But you can see like the whole thing, the whole goal is family. That shows like, Mohbad is actually a family oriented person. So now take it further. What property does this guy have? What property does he have? The few properties to which even Baba Mohbad is saying Mohbad has, it is even thanks to Wunmi and even Wunmi's family. Either they say the one plot of land, either there is 1-2 acres of land somewhere, either there is any property in Liam's name, it is actually thanks to Wunmi and, even Wunmi's family. So now, the issue of maybe getting a will or whatsoever might not have crossed their mind or anything, because honestly, let's be sincere, there is nobody within their 26, 27, even 30 that is thinking of, let me write a will or whatsoever. But with the whole issue of Mohbad, it is actually an eye-opener for even with the adults and even young people. Let me use myself for an example. And I guess, I don't know if it is Pythagoras that said it earlier, that, sometimes it is the foundation to which you lay that your own extended family, or even maybe like any extended family, is actually going to work with. For example, for someone like me, even when I was single as a single guy, I have my own rules and regulations. You cannot just come to my house anytime. You will call me. If you don't call me, you go knock my door, no go open. So they know. So even they know. Even my own mom, she knows already. So they know that with me even before maybe like, okay, say woman enter or anything. They know that for me. Now the thing is this, even as a young guy, before maybe like got married or anything, the first maybe like landed property I bought, for me, anything I buy, it has always been Mr. and Mrs. It has always been Mr. and Mrs. that I will tell you, put on the receipt, Mr. and Mrs. Because for me, I feel like I'm actually building a future. And for me, because maybe me, I have small pride, I'll tell you, if you meet me, I'll tell you like, see, me, I'm not at ground zero. You are meeting me halfway. So it is either, we put resources together, we put our ideas together, and get something that that would lead us to a better place. So getting a will not cross the mind of so many people, because especially in this part of the world, and maybe as Nigerians or Africans that we find ourselves, people, most of us don't really believe that you are going to die young. So even when you talk about will in front of your family members or even some of your friends, they start saying you like, so most people don't really think about it. And so for me, I don't think there is much to which Mohbad could have done, maybe in terms of maybe like will or whatsoever. But it is just so unfortunate that, those or the person, not even those, the person to which Mohbad and Wunmi sacrificed a whole lot for, who they sacrificed virtually everything for, who they lived for, who the first money to which they were making and everything went to, is the one who is actually, doing this whole damage and doing, scattering and destroying the whole legacy of the guy when he's no more, is now the weapon fashioned against the wife. So that's just the only most unfortunate thing. But sometimes one thing I've actually realized or learned with this Mohbad case is this. Sometimes, especially to our ladies, and especially to the ladies, the thing is, the family you want to marry, because I feel like Josie did not just grow up overnight to become this person. He has been like this over the years, but they kept on managing him, they kept on robbing his ego, they kept on, if he says it is A to and consider the Batifenikashi and everything. And ladies, especially young girl, that's a little family value, they feel like I consider the Batisoni, anything to that the Batife, Shadjeka Shefun, Majekida Dibino and everything. That was what, to me, like Wunmi was actually doing in all of this. And that was why at a point in time they were actually best of friends, that the man could have actually said like, no, and everything. It is because they were actually good, and they were good because Wunmi was actually playing to his tune. If he says he wants 100,000, I take 100,000. Even if they don't have, they need to go and borrow. And the man was just getting all he wants. He does not know or even care how these things are actually coming in. He was just enjoying the whole life of his head because he's actually Mohbad's dad. And maybe now, responsibilities will definitely come in and things will definitely change. But this man has failed to realize the fact that things have changed. Now they've had their own family. Boyfriend and girlfriend. So these people now, they felt like, okay, we've been able to like do these little things for daddy. Let us now start focusing on ourselves. But they know the kind of person daddy is. And even the wife might have even know the kind of person Mohbad is. Also, like, Tabalave Shewan, say Kato for Timalozo Fundadi or whatsoever. Tabadem Baloba yi, Alimala Kojawa, Goli Marin Kokosho for our. Oh, yeah, okay. you have this money. Even the land they are actually talking about, if you go deep down to go and ask how they purchased the land, you might actually see that maybe the money would have actually come from Wunmi getting 100,000 today, 300,000 tomorrow, and she keeps the money and she just go and say like Joro Wile ya Ali no, and they use the money to buy property. It might just be like that. But this man, having just heard, let's just take it back. The man just heard, the next thing he did was to lay claim to it. There is no woman, there is no wife that would actually see an attitude or character from a father-in-law or mother-in-law of such, and they would actually go on in friendship or whatsoever. It is not going to work. So I feel like these are part of the things that actually caused cracked amidst Josie and maybe Wunmi. And that was why, okay, meeting secret and everything. And, Wunmi became an enemy overnight. And that is why he is still fighting Wunmi till date. Because to him, it feels like, if you hear him speak, it feels like, Mohbad is actually a billionaire richer than even Aliko Dangote. And it feels like Wunmi is the one in charge of everything, and Wunmi just wants to corner everything to herself. So for me, so that I don't take much time, when it comes to using Mohbad as a case study, for me, I feel like there is little or nothing Mohbad and Wunmi would have actually done differently, considering their age. Had they been maybe like they're in their mid 40s or maybe early 40s, and then you can say like, but even almost 26 years in the normal settings, maybe like that is when school time to graduate to university and everything. But maybe because of his talent, the talent opened way for him as early as possible. So writing will and everything might not have actually been, maybe like a priority for them. But the only mistake for me to which I think Mohbad made is the fact that, he invested so much, not in his family as a whole, but he invested so much in Josie and Josie's happiness. And now that Josie's happiness cannot be met anymore, he has become an enemy overnight. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Tosin. Mr. Dawa?
Okay, so good day everybody. Well, it's very unfair of the moderator to have called me when the likes of Pythagoras, Lilibet, Freedom, Oluwatosin have spoken. Before I was given this topic, I wrote down about 20 points. I've cancelled 17. I don't know.
Let's hear it.
You made me this kind of panelists. I now look like a small boy there, but inshallah, we'll have one or two things to say. I'll begin my talk by quoting some scriptures. The first one is the Bible. It says in Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. It says, "Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh." I'm going to read it again. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Now, whatever I say now, it's not like I'm trying to blame Mohbad, and it's not like I'm trying to downplay his intelligence. Secondly, I would also quote from the Quran. The Quran says something. It says, "Lodge them in houses of where you dwell out of your means, and do not harm them in order to oppress them. And if they shall be pregnant, then spend on them until they give birth. And if they breastfeed for you, then give them their payments and confer among yourselves in an acceptable way. But if you are in discord, then dare me breastfeed for the father and other woman. Let a man of wealth spend from his wealth, and he whose provision is restricted, let him spend from what Allah has given him. Allah does not charge a soul except what he has given it. Allah will bring about after hardship his." What am I trying to say here in these two scriptures? I would like to say from what Mr. Oluwatosin said, Mohbad and Wunmi are very young people. Mohbad was actually very young. Before he followed his father's advice of him settling down, I'm not saying marrying at a young age is an issue, but in a case in which you know that your parents still need financial assistance from you, and you're still constrained to their excesses, you know your father will not allow things be except you satisfy him. Is that the right time for you to get married? Mohbad was a Christian, and he should have gone through the biblical scriptures to know that he is to leave his father and mother and cleave unto his wife. That means, as in everything he does, he should now know that it is meant for his nuclear home. We're not saying you shouldn't help your mom or dad, but you should know your first priority is your nuclear home. Your nuclear home is your wife and your kid. We've been saying this. 2022, Baba did birthday. Mohbad had already renovated the house he had for him in Ikorodu. Got him 2-bedroom flats and shops in front of that house. Renovated everything. On his birthday, Wunmi herself gave him a birthday present of giving him towels to put in that place, cotton to put there in his own apartment. In fact, the wife he has at home, the shop that Mohbad renovated there, got a grinding machine for pepper for her. What is Wunmi's business? Nothing. Does she have a means of transport? No. She goes around with Uber while her husband is alive. Let's not forget, on his death day, his car was even still being repaired. But a father would always want this and this from him, and he would always oblige. This is a very big mistake from Mohbad. At least set up your wife a business for her to support when you know you're financially down. I would also call this a mistake from Wunmi herself for being too family oriented and collecting so many bullshits from their Aloba family. When I say she's collecting bullshits, is this: did she not think about herself? Did she not think about that I'm married now to this man and I need a source of income? I'm pregnant. What would I be doing after I give birth? I am pregnant with this man's son. I'm a graduate. What do I intend to use my certificate to do? Wunmi never talks about all this. Would I say a 24-year-old lady is young? No. I would say at 18, you should be able to make decisions about your life. But she was so in love and she collected all these things, all these bullshits from the Aloba family. To crown it all, 2022 birthday of Mr. Aloba. He said he was not going to collect all those things except they put cash on it. That's not the first time he's done that. The land in which Mohbad was buried, a church ought to be on it. 1 million naira was given by Mohbad to his father. The father said it's not enough. Mohbad had this issue of not knowing that his nuclear family comes first. He doesn't know that both scriptures, whether it is the Bible or the Quran, believes that once you're married, your family becomes your responsibility, your first responsibility. Your nuclear family, your wife has a right over you, that you have to provide 3 basic things: her food, her shelter, her clothing, and her means of existence. is also there too. Also comes to the aspect of Mohbad was keeping his family private. While he was alive, so many people never knew he was married except very close friends of his. But was Mohbad actually private within his own family? No, he wasn't. I see all these as issues that need we youths or married men to also correct in our own lives. Any small thing that happens in your family, it is not all the time that everybody must know about it. You resolve it in-house. Although there are some instances that your parents need to, or the other person's parent need to attend to it if you know that. Because let me tell you something. According to the Quran, there are ways in which and I know this also happens in Christianity, that once you are having issues with your wife, the first thing you're going to do is to restrict intimacy. If that does not correct her, you report her to her imam or somebody that she respects and somebody that is able to correct her. And if that continues, what is the third thing? The Quran says that you should do something that does not cause her pain, but she will know that, wow, I have gone to the highest. Some stupid people interpreted that as beat, though. The right translation is not, you should touch her with the thing looks like a brush, and it must not cause harm to the skin. Also in Christianity, God does not like divorce. But everything that happens in their house, we are trying to now know that Baba is just getting involved in everything. I was reading the Punch newspaper today, and everything I'm seeing there is placenta, placenta, placenta. What business does Baba has to have with this placenta issue? What issue does Baba have with placenta? Do people not know that the placenta of a child is even the woman's body? People should actually know that the placenta of a child is not that of the child, it is that of the woman. It is the woman's body. So I'm wondering why Baba is so concerned about taking what belongs to Wumi herself, the placenta of a child. He went on and on. Oh, I never knew about. I asked about it. What is your business with placenta? Oh, they were having issues, and Wumi went to the hotel. When I came to resolve it. Mohbad, what's happening? There are some things that it is not all the time your father needs to come in. You want to have a child? Can't you discuss that with your wife? Are you ready to father a child? Why is Baba pushing you to have a child? You go to the mountain, do this, do that, do that. Do it at your own free will. These are things we need to learn from Mohbad's lifestyle. What issues he had, what mistakes he had. Of course, writing a will, nobody presently is ready to die. According to Brother Oluwatosin, we don't wish ourselves to even... But in this case of Mohbad is even teaching us that, wow, at any time, you don't know tomorrow. Once you know you started getting a very good salary, you've started acquiring properties, I try as much as possible to tell people, buy properties, maybe in your kid's name. We're still going to go there, whether your wife should be your next of kin or not. We're still going to go there. It's still part of the topics of today. But the thing there is this. Even if you don't want to write a will because you're saying like, kilude, because a will, Muslims don't write wills. There are ways in which the Quran has ordained for our properties to be shared. But if you want to take it into a country like Nigeria that we are in, you could actually start buying properties in your kids' names. So that you don't know when death is going to come knocking. Everybody knows what he or she has. Your family is not going to disturb anybody. I was actually laughing the other time where Baba said they want to print. They were using some prints of Mohbad on the paper. Baba, You've been saying so many things, and I'm wondering how you're going to come off what is going to happen to you tomorrow. We've been saying it countless times here that there are so many, I'll call them crimes that you're committing that you only say, and I don't think the son that you hired is advising you of what crimes you're committing. You are still going about saying that the death certificate is with Wunmi, Wunmi was inside the car. Whereas you known all that it was given, even Kuramet attested to it, not even from that WhatsApp stuff. It's been a late stuff that we've known about it. That Kuramet attested to it, that they gave a doctor's what do they call this? I've forgotten doctor's stuff to the lawyer of Mohbad. Somebody that never knew what happened to her. She's the same person that is going to wait in the hospital to collect a death certificate. Or were you not told that when they left Kuramet, she called on Blessing? Go and read the CTC. She called Blessing. That I don't believe what they are telling me here at Kuramet. I don't believe it. I'm taking him to another hospital. Is it that same hospital? She now stood there to collect a death certificate. Elokboloye now. There are many things to say. Let me just pause here. Okay. I also talked about extended family involvement in his family life. Okay. Let me just stop here. I'll allow other people to talk because it's going to be a very long night. Let's continue.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Dawa. We still have we still have about 3 topics to talk about. Timaga, are you there, sir? Yes, sir. You can come on, sir. Go ahead, sir.
All right, thank you, man. Thank you to the speakers. Like Mr. Dawa rightly said, it's like I'm gonna summarize all the speaker's submission or what have been said. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
All right, thank you, man. Yeah, it's like it will be like a summary because they've really said it all, and I think there's still a lot of topics we still gonna discuss. So, yeah, I'm going to start from where Mr. Dawa started. Like what the Bible said. It said, "A man shall leave his father and mother." The Bible actually mentioned a man. And he said father and mother, who are the most closest relations to him. So I think what the Bible is trying to tell us is if a man should leave his father and mother and join with his wife, and they will become one. So if he should leave his closest relation, who are his father and mother, then who else? That is just the point I think the Bible is trying to let us know. Now, leaving your father and mother is not that they're not going to continue to be your father and mother. But what the Bible is trying to let us know that now your status has changed. You are now, it's like becoming two in one. Two people becoming one. Doing things together the same way and not hiding anything from each other. When we say something, two people come together, they become one, then definitely everything you do, you have to do it in one accord. That is why I wonder, and it saddens my heart whenever I hear Josie talking about, oh, his wife knows this, his wife knows that, his wife knows his bank account, and I wonder that, didn't this man know what is called husband and wife? And I think where this problem comes from is people don't differentiate between somebody that just pick up maybe a girlfriend by the roadside and they impregnated each other,
and they were living under the same roof. They can differentiate it to somebody that you went to his parents' house to seek a hand in marriage, you prostrated and you took that lady, young lady, as your own daughter and promised her parents that as from today, we are going to treat her like our daughter, is part of us, is part of our family. So it's of two different things. So for you to have gone to that length, then you should know that it's different from somebody. Because now you see people, they don't even pay any dowry, they don't even know each other, no even any formal introduction. They pick up somebody by the roadside, impregnated her, they living under the same, and they will be calling themselves husband and wife. And I think this what you still taking Wumi for. That is why he's saying, oh, he shouldn't, he knows this, he knows his bank account, she shouldn't have known his bank account, she knows, so those are the things. And I think what we are discussing today is very, very important for every one of us, even myself that I'm talking, to learn from it. And I use this opportunity to say rest in peace to Mohbad, because he's the one that gave us this platform. It's of two things. All of us that have spoken today, in one way or the other, we've learned a lot of lessons. Life has taught us lessons that we're able to correct. But I know Mohbad will be happy knowing what we are discussing tonight, that we are using him as a case study for every young couple, for every couple, for family, for even parents that wanted to give out their children out in marriage. Because if he should be given that second chance, he will be happy to use his life and experience also to teach lesson, to tell people this is how to do it, this is how you go about it, because nobody is perfect. So, like I said, is with this topic, what a man should do is that what I just say about Mohbad life is that you have to, there should be boundary. Immediately after you become one with that your wife, there should be boundary. You don't do things the way you were doing it while you were alone. There should be boundary. And that is why you will see some so-called friends coming out to say trash, what they don't even know about, just because of the kind of, privilege and because of the free hand that Mohbad gave to them while he was alive. Yes, we read through a conversation, a text message between him and his wife when he was outside with Prime Boy. And the wife was texting him, calling him, and telling him to come inside because he himself knows the wife knew who this guy is and they never trusted him. Through that text message, we can all see that they never trusted him. Now, let's be frank. If truly, before the wife can be testing him and trying to call his attention, definitely maybe they've spent more than the kind of time he's supposed to spend with someone like Prime Boy. That is just the fact. So he accepted. So those are the things there should be boundary. There should be boundary. You should realize that, okay, now I'm no longer single. I'm in a journey with a partner, a lifetime journey. We are doing everything in common and we have to do everything as one. So, and now another thing I wanted to mention is social media. We said, oh, Mohbad is a private person. What Mohbad didn't understand is that being private on social media is different from being private in reality. So to my own best of knowledge, try to keep his family private on social media, but he is too exposed in reality. He has a lot of people around him that most of them shouldn't have been around him. Most of them, he should be dealing with them from distance. That is it. And even also to his extended family, comprises of his parents. They are his extended family. There are things they shouldn't know about you and your wife, about your private, your nuclear family affairs. So if there are things that your immediate family shouldn't have known, let alone friends, let alone colleagues. So those are the things I learned, and those are the things I'm just trying to put out there. And I think most of our speakers has, touched this aspect as well, but I just need to summarize it. So for now, that's what I'm gonna talk about the topic. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very, very much, Sars and Maz. In one way or the other, we've tried to infuse. Well, thank you very much, host. I was saying one way or the other,
Panic clapping while I take.
we've all infused the other topics into what's going to the first point, but we'll just elaborate on it, give it a bit more flesh, just for better understanding for our viewers and listeners. Chubby Me, before I go ahead to the next topic, I want to hear from Chubby Me. Are you there, ma'am?
Yes, so I'm here. Thank you. After you've let everybody, what do I have to say now?
Just say what you have to say.
But I will just add one or two things. Like, it's a great lesson, Mohbad's life. It's a great lesson for us, especially we the women. You know, yes, we truly love our husband. We want to do whatever they want us to do, or whatever will make them happy. We want to do it. Unfortunately, Mohbad's father took the advantage and the privilege, and he literally takes all the opportunity that he can take. And I guess another thing is, somebody has said it, for me and Mohbad, they are still young. I think it was Mr. Ratosik that said it. They are still young. They are very, very young. So, and they are like, starting their own life. One thing Josie never realized, and he should thank God for, is Mohbad still respects him as a father, and Mohbad acknowledge him in every way and every form. That is the type of a boy that my dad, I want my dad, I want to help my dad, I want to do this for my dad. And your family. Because your Bible will say, Baba Shigbe Bawalo Shimabegbe. Because when you start, one thing you don't understand is we are all human beings. We have our way of, holding on to things or letting things go, or think that, okay, this is their life. They know how to live their life. Is that, that's the way they want to live their life and all that. But some of us, we always held on to it. Most especially when it comes and say, oh, he did this, he did that. Me, as somebody, not me, I'm just saying that when you come and tell me, am I held on to whatever you have told me about your girlfriend, your fiancé, or your wife? I might not forgive her for doing that. But you came to me and you talked to me, you told me about Maybe you're just telling me out of, okay, you need little advice about it, or you want to see, okay, how can you go about it, or enlighten me more. I don't understand some things, but you told me about, you spoke to me about it. I'm like, that is one thing we have to always set that boundary. Know what you would say, or you would talk to people about your own partner. This is not your friend, this is your own partner. Mr. Dawa Reddit said, two shall become one. So if two of you have become one, whatever you cannot discuss between each other. You guys saw each other before, going to this relationship, before going further by marrying or engagement or introduction, whatever it is. You should have understand each other to that, to that state of, how to deal with each other. Then inviting third party, especially when it's our parents. Some parents will be like, oh, you don't have to go to details, because only eti tó bá gbà ló ń gbà mi kò kí ń gbà bọ̀. Imi kínkín létí àwo, it would always, it will always stay there pé ó ṣe báyìí for mommy, ó ṣe báyìí for mommy. You can imagine when Josie will talk, Josie will say, ìjọ́ tó ṣe kinní kan, ó ti jáde nílé, ọmọ mi láti ṣe kinní kan ni, in which step we all know, according to Josie's testimonies too, that he never loved Mohbad. But he had that excuse of blaming Wunmi of some things that he himself is very, very 100% guilty of. He mentioned one thing, and he said one thing one time, and he said, Josie still expects Wunmi and Mohbad to always come to him because they have been going to him. So he still wants that to continue to happen. He wants to know what is going on in their life, day in, day out. He wants to be that third wheel. He would know every secret between them. But he never realized that when they start growing up in their own way, they would grow up to understand some things that, okay, I'm not that by Debbie by, we don't have to be telling daddy about this one. But knowing but Josie, being who Josie is, Josie still wants to know. He wants to know what is going on in there. Part of it on it, they want the placenta for me. Why should they give you the placenta? Why do you think, yes, you are the one that the placenta is supposed to go to? No, it shouldn't. And those are the boundaries that they never corrected, that Mohbad never corrected. That Mohbad never let Josie know that, Josie, this is your space. This is my own space and my wife's space. Whichever way they want to put it, so some of them said that whatever it is, this is our own space, daddy. Or a placenta, it's not in your, you are not supposed to know. It's not even in your own shoes. It's not in your own, parameters to know about what is going on or where did we put the placenta. This is my family. This is my wife. This is my child. I have every right to put things in. I have every right on these two. So daddy Kokoyi, but it never stopped that being that I don't want to disrespect my dad. And I know that kind of that kind of a child. I don't want to maybe if I tell my dad this, like when he called Mohbad and said, oh, Igbo orale, when daddy me no Emma worry kiniko. And Josie went on. Those are the boundaries that he never, Mohbad never stopped Josie. He never lets Josie know that, daddy, I'm old enough to take care of my things. That is why Josie thinks that even after Mohbad's death, he has every right to still monitor whatever Mohbad has. And Wunmi being Wunmi Omodada, he looks at it like, okay, how come I want how come you want this? I'm going to want this with him. I'm going to respect him. Of course, there are some kids, there are some children, there are some, male and female that they are not even up to Mohbad and Wunmi's age, that they are already living together as husband and wife. And they set some boundaries. Ipe wo, bàbá ọkọ tó bá máa kú ló máa kú, tẹ́ bá máa wá sílé wa, no. Ẹ kò lè fò gírí kẹ́ máa bọ̀ nílé wa. You cannot just come and think that, okay, you can just walk into our house, or you cannot come and just think that, okay, you can do this, you can do that. No. They have set boundaries. They are like, no, you can't just come in and do this with us. No, this is our own house. That is your own space. You know, he had that kind of fun life to the extent that he has to bring girlfriend to Mohbad's house, where his wife, his own child, his wife and his child, that they live, and come and sleep with that person there. That is how much that Dosi is so much entitled to the life of Mohbad. And that is why he would not stop. He will keep doing it. To us, all females, not all men are bad. Especially some of us get carried away when when our husband say, "Oh, I want to make you full housewife. You know, I would support. I would, help you out. You would do this. I'll provide everything you have." But hey, always remember, anything can happen. The man might end up marrying another wife. It might be time for him to go. The man can wake up tomorrow and even tell you, "Pay me shemo." So where do you want to start from? Not only death can take a man from you, anything can take him away from you. But where do you want to start from? Where you are saying you are happy, yes, you are a full-time housewife. But guess what? When this reality sets in, where do you want to start from? If you are a full housewife, have a shop. If it's a house that you guys have a small shop. You are the one controlling that place. You are not working for anybody. It's still your own house. But have that small business that you are doing. That's so if anything happens, and some men don't even think that anything can happen to them. Maybe even their job, maybe they, something happened to the company, they are letting people go, they are part of the people, and your wife can pick up from there. Men don't think that. Some women, we have to help our men to think, to put some things in place. Yes, they are men, but there are some things that we women are supposed to do too. So when things like that happen, you will be able to pick up from there and help them out. Fill that gap for that time. I'm telling you, men will respect those men like that too. Fill that gap. And when things gets back to normal, then you will continue like that. Full housewife, is it good? Yes, it's good, but don't take it as a full advantage of, what, it's giving me whatever I want. If I ask for this, yes, but anything can happen tomorrow. Just try and get some, even internet is good now. You can start selling stuff on the internet. Make your house your shop. Add a little, what is it called? A little storage. Put stuff in, post your stuff on the, on the internet, and start little business like that. So I'm going to stop here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chobimi. God bless you, ma'am. Like I said, it looks like we've infused the other topics in our answers to the first question, but there's one of the topics that I just want us to emphasize more on, which is the aspect of boundaries. And I would like to use a question to launch us into this section of the conversation. I want to ask, how do you set healthy boundaries that will be respected by your in-laws and friends? Because it looks like we've all been very particular about setting boundaries with in-laws alone. Friends also needs boundaries in our marriage. How do you set healthy boundaries and they won't see it as àwọn fẹ́ ká mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú ilé wọn àbí bóyá ìyàwó ẹ̀ ló ń control ẹ̀? And in also setting boundaries, let's also talk about the wife's family. How should wives also set boundaries from her family into her matrimonial home, her nuclear family? That's my question. So, who should I start with? Let me go to Mr. Pythagoras first. Mr. Pythagoras, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay.
So, lines, you need to draw them clearly. Be it in the sand, in the concrete, or anywhere, but then you need to draw these lines clearly, and it's not necessarily to be a formal occasion where you have to call friends and family and start telling each person their own parts in the whole relationship. It's mostly informal. It's mostly when you go out with, for example, say friends, and when you talk, when you gist, or even at work, it's from your action, it's from even your inactions. They get it from there. It only happens maybe 1 out of 10 occasions where you have to sit down and really call a serious meeting and say, oh, this particular one, this is how I want it. Even with families. Mostly, it's something you continue doing on a daily basis. It's a continuous effort. You don't just set the boundary and relax and sit back. No. It's something that will keep coming. Because wherever there's relationship, there'll be friction. People will want to forget what their roles are. They want to go beyond they want to go beyond even that boundary, because the mere idea of setting boundaries makes people want to test it. People will want to test that boundary. It's just like telling a child not to take something from the fridge. It would have been better not to even let the child know that thing is in the fridge. But then, because this one is a special case, you have to set the boundary and you have to do it every single day. From the words of your mouth, from your actions, from your reactions, from everything you do among friends, amidst family, even at home. The boundary is not just for the external guys. It's not just for your extended family. It's not just for your friends. Also for your immediate family too. They also need to know everybody's role in your life. Because it's about you at that point. The boundary is about you. You're the one trying to protect what belongs to you. But then you have to give people the idea of where they belong. For example, you have to tell outsiders what the pecking order is with your immediate family. They need to know. They need to know if I want so, it has to go through this channel. It has to go through this person. They need to know all these things. And for family members too, they need to know that in my house, I mean, that's immediate family, they need to know what impact this, in quote, extended family, what impact they have made in your life. Because it's not just about telling them, oh, you can't come to my house anytime, you can't do this anytime. Your people need to know, oh, so person, my dad, is the most influential person in my life, is the this, is the that, but then this is his place. Not like, you don't need to call a formal meeting, but through your words and your actions, you will know. While I was growing up, there is nobody in my dad's family that I don't know their story. Anything, any opportunity my dad had, then it would make sure it tells us story about anybody that comes to his mind. Oh, this person, whether good story or bad story, we will know about what this person has done while he was growing up or what they're doing presently. Sometimes my mom tries to caution him to that, oh, don't tell these kids about all these things. But I say, no, they need to know. So that they need to know who to get closer to or who to keep their distance from. If he had not done some of these things, when he died and people rose up and wanted to fight against my mom, luckily we were old enough to defend her then, but then we would not have even known those we should get close to, those we should get some advice from, because we're not close to, we don't go home. So it's like now going back home to say, oh, I feel buried, daddy, and all that. people start bringing advices. Oh, see church in cemetery and all that. But then, because we know each person's story, we know what their role is. We know how my dad, how their what's the word? Their position in my dad's heart. So we know what value we are attaching to whatever they are saying, or if we even need to listen to whatever they are saying at all. So setting boundary, one is letting the outsiders know what the rule is in your house, what the pecking order is. The next step is letting your own immediate family member know what the position of this extended family, what their position are. Of course, your immediate family knows who your mother is. And if you keep playing it like, oh, your mother has the final rule, or your dad has the final say on everything pertaining to you, even while you're already a family man, then you have set a boundary, you have let them know that, oh, your mother can cross into this house and make decisions for them, or your dad can take control of this house at any time and make decisions for them. And also the third one is you need to stand in gap too. So it's 3 ways of setting the boundary. In fact, it's like 3 steps. You can't miss anyone. You tell the inside guys, which is your immediate family member. You tell the outside guys first that, oh, this is how you treat my people. This is who this person is. This is who that person is. Then you tell the inside guys, oh, that person outside there, don't get close to him. Oh, this one, this is how it is. But then you have to be careful with this. Then you also have to stand in gap, because there will always be friction. There will always be misunderstanding. People will always cross their boundary, whether the extended family or friends trying to cross the boundary you set for them, or your own immediate family crossing the boundaries you set for them to with your friends or with your family members, extended family members. You have to stand in gap. You have to be the one to correct them. That's why I said it's a continuous process. It's an everyday event. It's something you have to keep doing. It's a conscious effort. You have to put a conscious effort to it. You have to let them know this is this when the situation arises. Because you cannot sit down and figure out the kind of situation that will arise where one person wants to cross their own boundary. But whenever that situation arises, you need to immediately correct it. And doing so, you have to do it with fairness, kindness, and most importantly, you have to be stern. You have to be factual. You have just to be direct. There is no ways about. There is no being political or trying to be diplomatic about it. When it comes to boundary, you have to be straight and direct and stern. Let whoever has heard, let them know that, oh, this is wrong. So for me, I believe that's how you set boundaries. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pythagoras. I just want to put a bit of twist to this conversation. I don't want us to do a monologue discussion for now. I'll be calling Mr. Dawa next because it looks like when I call Mr. Oluwatosi, you feel a bit intimidated. So I'll call Mr. Dawa, then we can interject when necessary. Please let us know when to interject. When you see that someone is trying to land a point, try to listen before you come in. So, Mr. Dawa, over to you. And please, if you've got any questions, panelists can answer your questions. If you have any questions, please put it in the comment sections. Thank you. Mr. Dawa.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for considering Brother Oluwatosin after me. Okay, so setting of boundaries. Actually, it's not something very easy, but let us look at some. I just have about 2 ways in which boundaries can actually be set. First of all, I see Mohbad as a very accommodating person, and this is one of those faults he has. Very, very accommodating. I'll use him and myself as something. Two people at opposite having two opposite ideas to this. I'm not this kind of person that I will not, whether rent it or have it, I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to do that is going to accommodate myself and my immediate family. Mohbad, I don't know, a duplex that is housing 15 people. You now had extra room that when Baba comes, and he will bring additional woman to come and lap you, there is still accommodation for him. There is no restriction in that regards. Is it a place to the kids are in one room, you and your wife are in one room, there's no extra space for family and friends? Would your father now say your children should leave, that he wants to bring a woman to the house? No. And the respect you give your woman, that's the second point. I'm going to use the second point to link it. The respect you give your woman is the respect others would give to her. The respect you give your woman. Yeah. Let me give you an instance. Sherry Leah Tomboy. There are so many people to just 2 or 3 days before the Leah, their wives should go and meet their parents, cover one down. So Yahoo the house gay. So Yahoo the why are you not sending them money? That's the kind of respect they'll give her. And then the respect shouldn't be after marriage. The respect should be before marriage. Imagine a situation in which your friends are in the house and they walk into your private room. No, you should have put that boundary, like, come, you have to respect my wife. In some quarters, don't talk to her like that. And it depends on how you two respect her. If you respect her the way you carry her, so many people, and that is how boundary starts. Boundary starts by, while you guys are courting, there are limitations of how you involve your family in your relationship issues. Talk less of when you guys now get married. Once they know that, wow, if they're even having issues, they lock the door, shut the window, you hear them for about 10-15 minutes, they will lock up and they'll come outside. So it's better I don't even dance around at all. If they know you started that one while you are courting, in marriage, if you have any issue, but how come I count to scores bang bang? That is how to start putting boundaries there, like, come on, don't interfere. We will settle our issues ourselves. I'm not going to tell another friend or something that one stupid person will be telling me I slept with my wife once. That is talking out of boundaries. When you involve people that are frenemies, our personal life outside to the media. Okay, okay, let's just say Mohbad even actually slept with me once. How does that got to do with justice for Mohbad? That is where boundaries are not being set between friends. You're in a house, anybody can walk into your bedroom. You're in a house, anybody can talk to your wife anyhow, and you wouldn't react, you don't see anything. Or your parents don't even respect you. Or you gave birth, instead of them staying for just a week or two, you now see them spending months.
I think Masadawa's network is flickering a bit.
Guys, please, let's power tap. I don't know, sometimes my comment doesn't show, so I think that we should power tap it up. And yeah. Okay, you want to call on someone or should I talk?
No, you can go ahead. This is a discussion now. I don't want to make it a monologue,
Okay.
with interjecting.
I was going to talk about what not respecting boundaries looks like, so that in that way we are able to even know what boundaries are. Because, in our African traditional settings, most people are not trained or groomed to respect boundaries. So Dawa is here. Welcome back. Hello. Yeah, if you want to continue, or otherwise.
I think it still has issues.
Okay. So, to start with, I would say that knowing what boundaries are starts from actually knowing our rights as individual. We need to first know that, okay, as an individual, you are entitled to your own space and the people you allow into it. As an individual, you have a right as to how you want to be treated and how you treat others. As an individual, you have a right over your possessions, the things that you've got that are yours, and how you permit people or give people access to them. And yeah, as an individual, you also have your own life, like your personal life. You have a right to it, and the people you admit or you give access to you. And I would say that all of this stems from, childhood, upbringing, environment, exposure, and a whole lot of other issues like that. So when we are not aware of these things, that's how you have people intruding. And looking at this issue of DNA now, you can see how a lot of Nigerians do not respect boundaries. Am I gonna say that these people do not understand what boundaries even is, or that they do not know what their own right is and where it ends? Because if we're talking about boundaries, that's one aspect I even want to link boundaries to, and it's a national thing, or do I say cultural, national thing. A whole lot of people seem not to understand where the boundaries ends with other people, and it stems from the fact that they do not even know their own rights. Because if you know your own rights, you would know that you don't even have the right to infringe on other people's boundaries. And when it comes to parents, African parents, especially with the parent, a father like Josie, since the context of our discourse is about Mohbad and his family, what not having boundaries looks like is, having people just barge into your home. If you want to look at it, Josie does that a lot. So, you just you have an instance where a father feels that, oh, because he's the father, he can go to the house anytime, he's entitled to everything the child has. Then 3, it is the child's responsibility to make you, like, it's the child's sole responsibility to make you happy. That's actually what not respecting boundaries looks like. Because if you respect boundaries, even as a parent, and I pray that all of us as parents, we are able to empower ourselves. Because as an empowered parent, in fact, your expectations would also reduce. You would learn to respect boundaries with your own children.
Please, let's power tap. Sister Temi Osinde, and probably they send a question.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to bring Mr. Dawa up to.
Yeah, I could not. So, oh wow.
Guys, let's power tap.
Can somebody call her? What's your phone, Mickey? Record. Can somebody call her? Okay, she's back. Okay.
Freedom, I'm so happy that you mentioned this African parents thing because I wanted to ask that why I think African parents make this boundary thing a bit difficult.
Yeah, but not all. You see, I would say that it has a lot to do with their exposure, not necessarily education, exposure, and also the personality. Remember that even amongst parents, we have the entitled ones, we have the wicked ones, we have the greedy ones, we have the empathetic ones, we have the caring ones, we have the loving ones.
Mm-hmm.
So it would depend on which part of the divide one finds himself or herself with the parents. And I have a friend who is actually educated and all of that, and was telling me, oh, he wants his children to grow up so that they can start doing this, that. And I'm like, no, but this is even a wrong perception towards having children. You know, we have some people do have these children with with Josie's mindset that, oh, my children are my investment. Whereas our parents, we are obligated to them. There's nowhere where it says that the children are obligated back. The only obligation the children owes their parents is to respect them. Not that they have to do things back for us because we have done to them. So, if I have my way, I would say that, okay, during this Mohbad thing, I think there was a point I was tagging the National Orientation Agency. There's a lot of orientation that needs to go on, especially amongst Nigerians, amongst our people. And I would take it from empowering each and every one of us in the mind, so that you know what your rights are. Like here we have Citizens Advice Bureau. You get, even if it's an organization that you have issues with, and you don't understand how to go about it, you can call and they will direct you, they will give you advice. And so I want to believe that NOA is like an equivalent to the Citizens Advice here. So we need more orientation. Let people be aware. Let them know their rights. Even as a child, what are your rights? Do you know that you do have rights to be respectful but firm with your parents, in them also respecting you back? Do you understand that as a child you also have a right over even your finance, your property? Yeah, they can give you advisory roles, but it's not, you don't have to always take their advice or their suggestion or their recommendations. Parents should be more like, parents should be more like, we're there to support them, to encourage them when they come. We give them advice, not to run their lives for them. We shouldn't be that parent who take over the life of our children, and we want to direct every move they make. We want to enforce our expectation on them. I see a lot of boundary breaking with Josie, and it's sad. It's sad, really, because he grew up from being an entitled child to an entitled adult, that everyone around him had to tiptoe around him. They're walking on eggshells and all of that. And in a way, if we look back, it sort of also affected Mohbad as a person, because he's forever trying to impress the father, make the father happy. And, that's why some of the outcry he had when he goes back to the mother, like, oh, why is my daddy doing this? Why is my daddy doing this? You can see that he wasn't happy with the manner the father goes about wanting to stand, to hold everyone to ransom, like to hold them by the jugular and say that, oh, this is what you have to do for me, this is what you have to do for me. So I see a lot of boundary breaking instances all around Mohbad. And the most unfortunate thing is, even after he has passed, look at how people are not respecting his boundaries at all. And when I say people, it starts from the father. So, eventually it's not even about what he did while he was here. Yes, he was that guy who was open to a lot of people. If we were to look at him at that age, 26, it's more of it's the era of networking, having lots of people around you, putting also into consideration what he does. He's into entertainment and all of that. And best believe he would have all sorts of people around him. So, yeah, but if we are to look further, all of the things that are happening now, was it Mohbad that told Prime Boy that he only slept with his wife once? No, we know that a whole lot of these things are super stories that were cooked up by people who just want to be mischievous and nail a widow at all costs for no reason. So, yeah, a lot of people, not just even Mohbad now, a whole lot of people in Nigeria need to learn to understand boundaries. You don't even give people unsolicited advice.
No.
Yes.
Sorry if I may come in.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a discourse.
Yeah, I still believe every man is their own architect or fashioner of whatever misfortune or fortune they have. So I see we're trying to take it away from Mohbad. I mean setting of boundaries right now, because I feel if he had done well while he was alive, whatever Prime Boy or whatever even his dad is saying now, they won't have the guts, they won't have the confidence to say some of these things. I feel so. I don't think so.
I don't think so. You see, the thing, even in the general parlance, we do say that you understand? A whole lot of things that Josie is actually doing now, he wouldn't dare it if his son was alive. He was able to rein a leash around him, at least keep him in check. So he wouldn't do it. It's just sad that we have a group of people who do not understand and respect boundaries, even or that of a dead person. So, I mean, even no matter what Mohbad must have done, keep boundaries. Let's even say he kept all the boundaries while he was here. We've had instances where even older couples see Okomaku. Next thing they will say, "Oh, when the husband was alive, you can't even talk to the husband. Nobody can go near their home because this, that. I've heard such instances before. You know, the husband actually, they had the boundaries in place and all of that. I'm even talking about older couples. But the moment the husband passes, I think it has a lot to do with maybe our culture, the settings, the people. The moment wọ́n ní tí kinní kan bá ti kú, kinní kan ti ṣẹlẹ̀, once the dead is gone, people come out and do all manner of things, and that is what is playing out. And that's why I think that boundaries should be something that everyone is made to be aware of and respect.
Freedom. It's not a question, but I just want to say this, like, okay, when we, in the marriage, it's always like maybe the husband is the very hard one and the wife is the soft one. Maybe both of them, it's like, just to mend the thing. So in some cases, right, the husband might be the very soft one. Sure, you understand. And even when he's trying to like say, oh, no, mommy, some mothers, they know the kind of children that they have. They know the one that they can walk up to and say, you know what, kid over me some nonsense here from nonsense here. And there are some that will tell them, hey, nonsense here from at all. So in some cases, this is my own understanding that parents know the kind of child that they have, right? And they know the one they can mess with. They know the one they cannot mess with. African family, African mothers, parents especially, they will try it with you. But there is a way you can put a stop to it. And sometimes the kind of women or the ladies that we marry, that men marry, right? There are some that will be like, mommy ò fẹ́ yẹn kíní kan, and the wife will be like, mommy ò fẹ́ ṣùgbọ́n ilé mi lélẹ̀, this is my own house, this is my own territory. Sometimes you have to help your husband to set that boundary. Ọkọ tó bá ti come, tó bá ti sọ pé okay, mo bá mommy sọ lánàá, ṣọ́tún ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Of course you know your mom is going, because your mom knows that you cannot say this, but you as well, you have. It's not about you hating your mother-in-law. It's not about you not wanting your father-in-law to come to your house. Of course, 100%, there are some that are like that. But when it comes to a certain, there are some things you have to implement that, no. This is my own house. This is my territory now. I'm not asking them not to come. But there is a limit. There is different. There should be different. Like me. I remember when I was cutting with my husband, and he would tell me, I told him, hey, Olagbeni, no Ore will come into this relationship. I don't even want to hear any Ore. I said, because there are some friends, they will laugh with you. They know your boyfriend or your fiancé has another girl there, and they are smiling how but yet they will still come to you and laugh at it. 100%, I cut that off on the streets. I don't want any or any big kankan. Your ore and your ore, yeah, you can talk on the phone, but for any ore to be meddling into my own relationship, no, I don't want it. I don't want the kind of relationship where it will be my ore that will be able to, a lot of people, they do all these things. You are creating problem like that. As a woman, that's my own. I'm saying it, and some people might. You are creating problem. Because the Ore will never be on your side sometimes. The Ore will come and tell you what you want to hear. But when the Ore gets to his friend, they will say it as Ore. As man to man, they will know, okay, no, then let me muwale from. So that is how me, I cut off anything Ore. No friends can put any mouth. Even when if you mistakenly stumble on us having argument, you don't put your mouth. Face whatever you come here to face. That is that part of my own extended Ore thing. But when it comes to family, I set some boundaries myself. I play, I joke, I laugh, but I tell them when it comes to me and my husband, nobody should put mouth. He's the kind of one that the person that sets boundaries himself. But there are some that is not implemented very well that I'm helping him to implement. Then now that everybody knows their position, they don't overdo. They don't. You want to overboard, I will first leave you and make you understand that you are over cross boundary. And when no. What's to be?
Chabemi, can I quickly interject there?
Yes, ma'am.
It's good that wives help their husband keep some certain friends at bay, but in relations, if that friend, you know that this person keeps boundaries and you respect that person for that, and you know that if there's anything happening in your marriage and you think that this person is the one that can help you
get what I from the beginning, that it's me and you. We know each other before, we have started courting, we started as, our do's and don'ts. Mm-hmm. But I made it, and he went along with that. Nobody, whatever me and you cannot iron out, not part of, because this is my belief, right? Some people not you the truth. Not everybody out there will tell you to your face that you are wrong. What you are doing is wrong. Some of them might want to be on the husband's side. Some of them might want to be on my own side. Some of them might be if it's my husband, right? Or your community, it would always be or your community, regardless of anything. Whatever they're discussing, when I'm not there, they will discuss it. But when it comes to me, wrong. No, he's not going to tell me wrong. There are some people that would he's not going to tell me wrong. In which me, myself, I know that what he did to me is wrong. And I'm that person that if you are wrong, let me know, tell me you are wrong, and I would accept it, and I will accept your apology. But when I don't, from the get-go, I don't, and I did not base my relationship off we can call it about me somebody can know I did not. We both agreed, and we would have said it. Whatever we cannot iron out between us, nobody can iron it out for us. Because third party in there. Third party here, color, that artist saw in between that. Sometimes when we talk, when we get carried away, we say some things that we are not supposed to say. And remember that person mama kasowo. And you never know. Anytime, any day, anything can you go and stop that person that is telling your story? So you cannot. But I know if you lupo you want to feel lupo and always remember, whoever to bamba either sorrow would have somebody not to know mama sorrow. Out of knowingly or unknowingly, my sister saying, Ben on the last week, and maybe that person is telling your story, right? Always look at you guys on this high level. We now say, sorry, last week, I'm iron out issue on it, and conversation will start. Me, so from the get-go, let me set the boundary no. I've not seen anybody tó lè bá wa mi ò rí ìyá mi àti bàbá mi gan ò lè bá wa parí ẹ̀.
Yeah. So, do we have any other person that wants to say one or two?
For the right time to step in.
Okay.
Yeah, I also wanted to talk about this boundary thing. Sometimes you set the boundaries, but you don't even follow up on the boundaries that you set yourself. For example, now, my husband and I, when we started dating, the agreement was we will never sleep out. I mean, like, he will never sleep out as long as we're in the same state. Do you understand? And I can't do the same thing. Do you get? So we've been married for so many years now, and it's still the same. So there's no mistake like, oh, today I probably went partying and I couldn't come home early. No, you have to come home. So things like that, it's not something that you start with when you're dating, then maybe because you're now married, you won't follow up, or you allow something before marriage, then after marriage, you now say you can't allow anymore. No, it has to be what you started with from the beginning. And sometimes you put yourself, I mean, where they put you, you don't put yourself. And I was going to refer to what Mr. Da said, like when you go to your in-laws and you start doing the work of caterer. Same thing with my mother-in-law, because I think it's the way my husband has carried me from the get-go, even when we were dating. Like my mother-in-law, she knows me. I think I've said this thing on this platform before. I don't do too much. I'm just me with her, and basically she loves me like that. So I'm not that extra daughter-in-law that I'm jumping up and down. Oh, mommy, are you going to do this? Oh, what do you want? Should I cook for you? No. Yeah, just me. I just do the normal stuff. Not like okay, any celebration. Maybe when we go to ask for a layer, and I'm trying. I know that I only go there to sort out my husband's friends. Do you get, like women do? They try to overdo, like try to please. Oh, I want to please, and I think that's another mistake Wumi made. Like she tried so much to please Josie. Oh, I want to be just like, okay, I won't really blame her because they were once close. So yeah, but I think even Mohbad too, he just tried to please him, because there was a time, I can't remember who said it. I think starting with that, when they don't even have money, they will go and borrow money from Spending or from Bella just to give this man. No, I don't have it. I don't have it. Don't try to overdo, like, it's just still about setting boundaries.
I want to ask a question, Lilibet. Sorry to cut you short.
Yeah.
Is it possible as a wife or as a husband to set boundaries without the consent of your spouse, quote and unquote? When I mean boundaries, when I mean without consent of your spouse, in relation to what Mr. Dawa said about cooking, Ilea setting, or any other family function. If your husband is one believes set any other boundaries, but you see that coming to my parents' house a day 2 or 2 days to help in preparation of food and all of that, I believe you have to be there. And you as a wife, you're saying, no, I can't. I'm not going to do that. I would rather spend, if you think you don't want to spend the money to get a caterer, I don't mind spending it, but I'm not going to go there and go and enslave myself for your family members.
And that's where communication is very, very important.
Good.
It's very, very, as in extremely. I don't even think boundaries can be set without communication. Like, I cannot. There are rules, as in you have to communicate. If a boundary is about to be broken, or you have to speak up. Don't just say, oh, he has to know now. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, oh, he should know. He should not. He doesn't have to know. And for men too, your wife doesn't have to know. You have to speak about it. I can't come to your mom's place to cook. Sort it out. We have to talk. We have to communicate. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah. So communication is very, very important.
And sorry to cut you. And that this is another thing. This is another mistake that we always make, right? When you initially start dating, right? And the guy introduced you, and it goes both ways. What you would not continue to do, don't even start it.
Exactly.
At all. Because once you start it, that is their expectation for you. So now, let's say I started cutting, right? And when it comes to all this festivity and all that, I will be the number one day in the morning. Start cooking, washing, doing this, doing that, blah, blah, blah. Right? And then, when you started cutting, then it leads to marriage and you guys got married. And then, this is we women ourselves that in your head, you're like, don't always, there is a problem that we have. Some of us fake all these things just to, I want them to like me.
Exactly.
Who will not like you will not like you. Somebody like me, if I would not like you, even if you use all your head to be, if I would not like you, and I will let you know from onset, straight off. But this mistake that we always make is you want them to like you. You cannot fake that. You cannot be faking and expect them to like you. Because once you stop that thing, then they will be like, Shetirinsi, now that they are now married, wọ́n ti tòjébó lóṣàlẹ̀ bàbá ńlá exactly. And the other hand, the guy would maybe be telling her, if you continue to do this, expect and you'll be like, no, let me do it. You're coming, blah, blah, blah. And then it gets to that point where you cannot, or you don't feel like doing it anymore. It's now a problem. You started the problem yourself. Nobody started it.
Yes, because you didn't stay in your place.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm. Yes, mommy.
You see, it is what you're saying. First of all, every individual is unique, and cultures are different. For me, I will say I'm Fulani Yoruba. My husband is pure Hausa Fulani. When we got married, was the first time I met his mom. And as soon as we got married, being a military man, there's nothing like, you're going one honeymoon on. As soon as we got married, he left the next day and left me with his mom that I met yesterday. And his mom and I struck a relationship from there. And the good thing is, I speak very good Hausa. I grew up speaking Hausa. But the thing is, in that environment, they know, because it's different. They give you cooks, they give you whoever will do things for you. They don't, that's why I say it's cultural, depends. My mother-in-law didn't expect me to go into the kitchen. No. They were cooking for me. They were sending, they had people doing all that. Then again, even when we go for Salah, I go with my cooks from Ilorin. I will go with all the Alasis. They know me. They will say, go to Gida Habiba. That is Habiba's house. Go and collect Amala. Go and collect jollof rice. They know I won't cook. But they will send that, please help us go to Habiba's place and collect things. Then talking about boundaries. Nobody ever talks to my husband about me. My husband has set his own natural boundary. No going near his wife's matter. Nobody. And I've been married to my husband for years. It's just the greetings and everything. I've never had to quarrel with anybody. I've never had issues with any of them. Because what my husband has done is he has put that boundary there. His father has his position. His mom has her position. Everybody has their position. And he never makes them up. And you will never find us discuss our issues with friends. No. Nobody. And they even make fun of that. They will say these two, you can never know what is going on between the two of them. So it just depends on the person. The uniqueness of everybody. My husband is one person that is quiet. I am quiet too. But I talk when I'm with people I'm comfortable with. But I never discuss issues outside. I don't want to bring anybody into our matter. And one thing my husband knows is, he knows that I don't like that too. So he doesn't even discuss me, because he knows I'll tell him, please, I don't like all these discussions. And he won't do it. And he doesn't like it too. So you will now find two people who are almost alike being together. And there's something about me. I can have 50 guys in my house, mostly soldiers. They will all eat. They won't see me. I have somebody who is here. My husband is used to the fact that right from day one, I have people cooking in the house. So I didn't have any issues with people who were close to him. We had that proper boundary setting. And you will not even, and if you try, because I've seen it, if you try to cross that boundary, he will immediately put you on the right track and tell you, no, that's not acceptable. So it just depends on the person you are dealing with. And for me, I've been with my husband since I was in University of Ibadan. And I've known him since then. In those days, if we even went out, because I'm not a party person, if we go out and he's busy inside, my husband loves to chat, laugh, with his guys, the military guys. But for me, when it's getting too long, the moment I look at him with one side of my eye, he knows we're ready to go. He's not controlling, but he respects the fact that I'm ready to leave. And I'm going back to school because I want to go back to school. He will go back to his small collar barrack. So the point here is there's this mutual respect. There's this, we don't bring things between us out. There was once my husband, talked to my dad about something that I did, but that was it, because he knew Martha and I are very close, and my dad just spoke to me about it, and that was it. But that's the only time that I heard him go out to talk about me. But that one was even my dad. Then I didn't have in-laws that used to come. They will inform you. My father-in-law, if he was in Abuja, we get a guest house for him. We go and greet him there and all that. The same with my dad. So we had a different, not a typical family coming to, in between. I didn't have that real experience of families coming in between. Everybody had what they were doing. And what I always know is that there's that respect and there's that boundary. That's my own experience with that. Thank you.
Wow, that was very, very nice. Thank you, Mommy. Osha, do you have something to contribute?
It's just a quick one. Can everyone hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, great. My own contribution may be slightly different from everyone's. Now, when we talk about boundaries, first of all, I'll address the issue of Mohbad. Now, but before diving into it, I'll just say this. Like sometimes when you create boundaries, some people may choose not to respect that boundary that you've set for yourself. The onus is now on you how to go about it, especially when it comes to parents, and especially Yoruba parents. The sort of relationship you have with your parents also matters. In the case of Mohbad, it is quite apparent that he had a very domineering father, and even if Mohbad had boundaries between his relationship and his father, you can clearly see that this person, from his behavior, so you can clearly see that what I will get type of behavior. So how do we expect a 26-year-old adult to handle such situation? And in the context of cultural stuff, my parents are my parents. The respect, should I respect or fear of them being your parents? A lot of us can talk about how, but that is because we're all exposed. Majority of us are way older than Mohbad, and of course, could have birthed Mohbad, right? We're all experienced. We've all been in marriages for several years. We can talk from that perspective. In the same breath, we also have to look at it this way. On the age side, both of them, both Wumi and Mohbad, they barely even know what marriage is about. They barely even know how to handle marriage. If you would ask me, they both are not ready for marriage, age-wise. Now, they are together due to circumstances they've been faced with. They have both been on the street. They are both on the streets, still very young. I keep getting calls from Abefe. I think she wanted me to say something. Forgetting that the program is already on.
Yeah, you can speak to her. We can just wait for you while we continue. Yeah, and that was urgent.
When she calls back, she's trying to call me regarding the program.
Okay.
Like, because she sent a message earlier, I suppose before she went to bed. So yeah, we have to put that into consideration. And sometimes it may just be a case of yeah, she consider the fake common stress. Let me just do what he wants. And the sort of like nurtured and rubbed his ego and caressed his ego, did all sorts to please him. That is why he felt so entitled, even in death. It is not about baby soft life. It's not even about the age alone. But the fact remains that some people, even people that are way older than Mohbad, they still do and go by what their parents says. Their parents are quite controlling of their marriages. It is not new. It is not alien to us. We've heard stories, we've seen it in movies. These things are not new. That you would have some parents. I don't know about any other culture, but some in Delta states, Yoruba, it is quite common. Now, over time, if perhaps Mohbad and Wunmi had lived longer in their marriage, perhaps maybe they will then start developing that sort of marriage. Mr. Tosin emphasized on it earlier. They will start, creating that boundaries. They will start making him aware of where he belongs and that this is our space and there's little or nothing you can do about that. Now, of course, Mo would have been in the best position to put that right. Well, I want to believe that they have this sort of relationship of whenever anything happens, he tells us that or whatever. And it may be otherwise. We don't know. These are the things this man is saying. And of course, the sort of relationship he probably had with me, as at that time, we can clearly see that they both were close. She calls him to report.
Sorry to interject. Are you saying that she should have? I mean, she started setting the boundaries like after they got married. Don't you think that was too late? Since they dated for 10 years.
I think that was late too. I think that was late.
Because they've been together for so long, the boundaries should have been set from the get-go.
Now, from the get-go, when you say boundaries from the get-go, they both didn't but probably didn't think it would lead to marriage. And don't forget, we started very young. You always have to realize that part. We cannot dismiss the fact that they both started very young, at a very tender age. Now, we have a relationship with this man in question. We cannot dispute that fact.
That was another mistake too. That was another mistake.
So she did not set boundaries either. Neither did Mo. They had a relationship. He doesn't know his place as a father-in-law. Things like this is okay for us to say because we're more matured. We've seen life. We've experienced one or two relationships. Right? But this person was his first girlfriend. He was her first boyfriend. So they did not understand the logical rationale behind marriage. So I wouldn't fault either one of them. No, neither will I say that, they ought to. It's easier for us to say, but at the end of the day, we also have to put into consideration the fact that we had a relationship with this man. There was no boundaries, and that was the reason why she could not even, the guy would have the audacity to bring a girlfriend to the matrimonial home, because it was boundaries in the first place. He would never consider thought. Forget about him not thinking about it being wrong or right or whatever. If there was boundaries, if he did not find comfort in the relationship or whatever, or have that power or authority in their lives, he would never consider thought. Needless to say that he would, he would go there with his girlfriend. It is even despicable to even hear. It is irritating, to say the least. But you guys get my point. So they lived as though they have to do whatever they want. It is a must. You don't even have a choice. And that is the reason why this guy can come out today and say otherwise. Because they never set boundaries. Everything boils down to boundaries. However, the people, the subject matter, Mohbad and Wunmi, were they ready to even handle such? Were they in that position to deal with it? How were they supposed to go about it? Number one, at that age, is done so much as a young person. At 26, I think I just finished my first master's or something, or first degree. I can't even remember, because I took a year off to go and hustle. I worked and then went back to finish.
Sorry, Ocha. Sorry. I got married at 24. My husband was 26. You know, it's maturity. It's not about age, Osha. This thing they call marriage. Some people are older and they are the worst people you can marry. Meanwhile, some people are young and are very good with marriage. So continue. Sorry to interrupt.
No, not a problem. So some people, you see, at that age, life is just a starting point for some. And for others, they've already established themselves. So, we back producing on as at that point in time. I would make their ages a key factor in this particular situation. I still see them as very, very young. At that age, in life. Let us be realistic, especially in that Nigeria. Not many people have the opportunity to start life. Now, let's now put the background into consideration as well. Neither of them have had it easy in life. So it has been a roller coaster ride for them. So all these key factors played a major role in their lives. If Mohbad was cheating, girlfriend, you come to text her, can you call daddy? They had that relationship. We trusted them. No. They had that relationship. So me is not matured, and mental capability wasn't matured enough to put him in a space before, because he's been involved before they got married or started having. Okay, what was the rush for? Taking a 23-year-old person to the mountains to go and pray for conception. What was the rush? So they've had that relationship. So it will be even difficult for me to now start setting boundaries. Now, when she was now about to or has started setting those boundaries in which she had conformed into his behavior, his to set boundaries for that kind of relationship would be a very difficult task for either woman or man. It would be very difficult because they now started creating that little boundaries. They didn't even go into outright boundaries and be because they now started creating those little boundaries. I personally believe that this man's ego was bruised, hence his behavior. And the results we're seeing today. And that is the reason why he's behaving in such manner. From my own experience, I've had my own fair share of relationships. I've tried 2 marriages, didn't work. And I'm not someone that would do or die affair. No. It doesn't work for me, I'm gone. That is my lifestyle. I don't have time to go through pain. My system rejects it. My entire being rejects pain. I reject it. Think about it. 2 days, I'm done. Because that is just how I built myself to be, because I've seen enough in life to not accept pain. You see? So, if at any point that this girl now starts to want to set things right, and this man is doing all of this, of course, it will be difficult. I personally, if I'm going into a relationship, I'll tell you this is what I want. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. You like it, we're cool. You don't, we're done. I don't have time to process things. I'm straightforward like that. Before I engage in a relationship with you, I'll say this. That I have done lovey-dovey in the past. So I'm just like, I can be very tough with my relationship. And that is me. We are all wired differently. What might work for others might not work for me. And when I see that something is not work for me, I'm out. Likewise, friendship, likewise, anything I deal with. So you see, a lot of us, do things. We're in a relationship, and then you have family members that want to be part of it. I don't discuss. Could see relationship to the perfect. If I'm arguing with my husband, he personally would never even discuss it with any other person. We argue our arguments inside our house. The end look in cinema. I will not report him to anybody. He won't report. At the end of the day, oh, teach me, oh my baby, go to at over bed, oh my baby. So that is it. At the end of the day, age and the level of maturity. When Mohbad offends Wunmi or dating someone, it is the same man they will call. If Wunmi has done something, it is the same man they will call. So really, in that regard, I won't really blame the guy.
He felt really entitled, yeah.
He felt so entitled. That is it.
So entitled.
So he has power, that power of entitlement over them, both of them. Not just the son, but both of them. And that is the result of the behavior we're seeing today. Still feeling that entitlement.
And as soon as his mom came in, he felt.
Osha, I have something that bothers me. Like, I always think about it because the way I've heard people talk about Mo, even Prime Boy, he said Mo is a very, like, he doesn't take nonsense. He's a very crazy boy. Like, even Mama Mo has said it a few times that all these things Josie is doing, that if Mo was alive, he can't even try it, And it's always common with people that they are like the breadwinner of the family. Maybe the family is very, poor. So if one person is the breadwinner, has much money than others, they tend to listen to what he says. Like he tends to, they try not to upset him or something. So I've been thinking that, how was it?
He didn't do much.
When he's upset, perhaps the type that doesn't hide.
I can't really hear you, Osha.
Can you hear me better?
Yes.
Okay. I want to believe that when Mo was alive, if this is just based on assumption now, I don't know him, but when he was alive, perhaps he was the type that when he's angry, he doesn't hide it, and he may go wild when he's angry. So maybe that is what they're referring to, as opposed to him just being a crazy guy, as referenced by Prime Boy. I don't want to take that. I want to believe that he's a very, very calm, cool soul. But some people like me now, right? I hear a lot. I joke around a lot. I am very slow to anger, but when I am angry, I don't hear a single word. Do you understand? But it will then be that bad behavior of mine that will now see that Usha is crazy. Usha is. Do you understand what I mean? So TV contain the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
So we can't hear you.
I will not have a single regret whatsoever, and I will destroy everything. But I'm very, very slow to anger.
Maybe he was that kind of person.
Yeah, because even with this so-called this infamous voice note between both of them, Wunmi and Mo, it was like the aggressor in that voice note.
Exactly.
If you get what I mean.
Of course. So you might just be that kind of person that when he just gets angry, he just messes things up. But when he's calm, he's calm. He will be as peaceful as you.
So let's just say Josie knew how to press his button, like his Mumu button.
And in my opinion, he played on his intelligence as well.
Yes, I believe so too. Yeah.
You know, he knew how to control him. That's what I saw there.
Yep.
He knew how to control him in such a way that he will not feel controlled. And you know, that's by showing some kind of, oh, I worry about how happy you are and all these kind of things, just to be able to get an insight into what is happening, what was happening.
On or doing reverse psychology for him.
Yeah.
So those were the kind of things that I see. But the point here is, for me, the one thing about a marriage, I know that your family members, your husband's family, they like you. But don't overly try to be close to anybody. No. That's a no-no. Because someday, because of that closeness now with Josie, you see the way he just gets up and goes there. He just gets up and goes up to the point of taking women there, which was very disrespectful. But the way he came at his son wasn't even looking, even if he was looking at it that way, he struck me like somebody who didn't want to hurt his feelings and kept quiet about them. But you see, this is why this setting of boundaries, they're not said though. They are done. The way you act, people will know that you will not accept some things. Those were the parts that I saw that were lacking. And honestly, in that relationship, I saw that there were too many people, there were too many third parties in their lives. That is Wunmi and Mohbad. Because even if you're in the music industry, it doesn't give you the right to park so many people at the same time sleeping in the house. No. They should have somewhere that they should be hanging out.
Or their business?
Yes.
Their private lives?
Yes, because that was their home. That was their home.
Explain having 15 people.
Honestly.
Forget about Josie for now.
Well, you know what? You know the funny thing? None of those 15 people living with them,
they were always in that house.
Crazy. No, but none of them have even come out to say shit about them.
No, that is not even the point.
That don't even live with them. That is disrespecting them.
That was what I was about to say.
So it's not about living with them.
I understand that, yes. The people who were not even living in the house were the ones that were talking.
They are the ones disrespecting them and
couple,
shit.
But for a new couple, you don't need that kind of crowd around you. No. For a newly married couple, you don't need that kind of crowd around you. No.
Then, to be honest, when they said 15 people were leaving, I don't think they were actually leaving, but they, come in anytime. But I think
there were always guys hanging around, yeah.
Yeah, but I think the main people living with them, or the main person living with them, was Adura, and or maybe DJ Bami. So that 15 people is just normal, they come, they hang around all the time.
No. 15 people when that thing happened. Maybe. But not always 15 people in the house. That was one. Then secondly, there was something about the relationship. Yeah, he kept her away. He had his reasons because of the situation that was around him at that time. Kept her away from the eyes of the world, which was perfect. And he didn't want a lot of things, people to know a lot of anything about his wife, because he wanted that privacy. You could see that he wanted that privacy. While some people, like when that idiot called Prime Boy said when they were going, he sat between Wunmi and Mohbad. What was he doing between Wunmi and Mohbad?
No, Wunmi sat in between both of them.
Oh, okay. I thought he said he sat between.
No. That was why.
Now, that was too close. That was even too close. What was he looking for there? For me, I felt that because that one too felt because, okay, after all, you used to come to my house as a child and all that, he felt he had the right to. That one should have been nipped at the bud from the beginning. And I think he did it too, but the guy didn't give up. He kept coming. But a lot, this is what we learn from this about marriage is that, you see, it's between you and your husband. Yes, you have family members who are part of it, who are witnesses to your marriage. You respect them for being family members. And that's why you will try as much as possible. You will keep a very good relationship with your husband's family. I know for some, because of the culture, it's difficult.
Mommy, do you know that, thinking about everything, the only person that didn't respect their boundary is Josie. Because when he was alive, I think even the friends respected Wumi a lot. Because one of the friends, Damola, said it. He made a post about it. That how much.
Damola did, but did you hear what Lifestyle said? When
What
they
did he
said
say?
she doesn't cook, she said, how dare she? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
When he said, she dares not cook.
Yeah, I heard that. When he came on this platform, he said it.
Was it this platform or another platform? Where they
No,
were
he said
the first time?
He said it here that that was in the beginning. He said, if Wumi doesn't cook, you'll be the first person to send her out of the house. Like, what's right wrong? How dare you?
That was wrong. That was wrong too, because that was another sense of entitlement there, you see. So the point here is, I know he might not have meant it the way I'm thinking, but the point
I think he didn't mean it that way.
Yeah, he might,
But that's how it sounds to most people.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But the point here is, in marriage like that, because you see, I said I married very young too, with my husband. We were both young, and we all had, all of us, my husband, when they say second lieutenant, you just finished from NDA. So everybody was young, and we all had, everybody were at the same level. But there was this boundary that you always set. You will get, everybody will eat, but you are not the one serving them as a wife. You have somebody to deal with that for them. You will serve your husband, definitely, because you have somebody to do it, yes. But at that stage, there were so many things that they didn't have. They shouldn't be having arguments in front of their friends. That happened. There shouldn't be, a lot of things you say with your wife, no, not in front of your friends. So you just leave them out of it. Because a lot of times people want to snitch on you. Listen to what's going on between the two of you. And for the dad, he wanted to be in charge of that marriage. And that is why when he comes out to talk now, he's talking as if he was one that was married to Wumi. I had to ask that question. Please tell us, who married Wumi exactly? Is it him or Mohbad? Because the way he comes out to talk, he's talking as if he was the one who was married to Wumi. Excuse me, you were not Wumi's husband. You had your place. And
that's why you can say William doesn't look like him. Or
that is not our business. Wumi was not married to you. Yeah. So she can't look like him. Liam cannot look like you. Somebody should tell him that. Nobody has told him that. Say, excuse me, Wumi was not married to you. Because sense of entitlement that you want to carry on. Wumi was married to Mohbad. So if the child doesn't look like you, you can't look like you, because the child has a combined gene of Wumi and Mohbad, not your gene. So what are we saying? Yes, he will have a quarter of your gene separate, but she was married to Mohbad. So looking like Mohbad or Wumi, if Liam looked like Wumi, are you going to say that child is not yours? Some people all of us in my house look like my mom. So, but when you see me smile, that's when you know, that's because we have gap. I have a wide gap like my dad. So, but the point is the face. Every face of my siblings and we all took my mom's face. Are you going to say because of that we're not our dad's children? That's exactly what he's saying. If Liam looks completely like Wumi, are you going to say Liam is not Mohbad's son? So all those kind of things, these are the kind of things that go. So, and when he was alive, he couldn't do that with Mohbad. He knew his limit. He knew his boundary. Anyway, we've all learned from this. Parents should be far away from your marriage. And again, sometimes, why parents should be far away is that when your husband is this kind of unruly man that wants to misbehave, it hurts parents too. So like your mom, me as a mom being in a house where my daughter is being maltreated, I won't be happy. So there's a lot of things that we need to keep away from our parents, learning from what...
On Papariano, can someone please...
Chobini. That's Chobini.
All right, let me go there now.
I think Chobini is there, bro.
I'm there already.
Okay.
Expose. Freedom, what kind of expose? Odeo.
Now, they continue calling my mom Mohbad. When he took the phone, Baba, you wait. Mohbad told us that went to Mohbad's house by his instinct.
Blessing called before they told him to turn back.
That's what I want to say. You didn't let me finish that.
After the blessing called,
turn back.
now told him to turn back. That
was at the hospital before then now.
Yes. I don't know why. Because if I am with him, okay, I know what the public won't absolutely do.
Oh, mommy. Blessing told him while he was still in the court.
He is innocent. He's pretending to be innocent.
So why is he saying that it's the Holy Spirit, is his instinct that told him not to go back?
There's no instinct.
But he was at the hospital now. Have you forgotten?
Dukia, you know while he was waiting for Mama Mohbad, that she passed him by on the bike. That was when Blessing told him on the phone.
Yeah, but by then he had known, he had seen the body.
No, I'm talking about when they were still in the corridor.
That's what I'm telling you. That was after he had seen the body.
Right. And I take phone, I call Baba to confirm whether he has heard what I heard. Then when I call Baba says he's in Naija, that he's going there. Then later on, I call again. He said he just got there. I want to confirm all of this information. And while keeping all of this information,
it's on the interview he had.
Not bring anybody
Forward.
because when I requested, I was number 3, and for the entire show, I was not brought up at all.
you are controlling the platform.
Yeah, it's crazy. But aristocrats is kind of like they kind of.
I was number 5.
It's not going.
People Andy brought up was break now. Let's wait now. What happened with Aristotle? What did he say?
Aristocrats mentioned that the petition was regarding cyberbullying.
Yes,
but at least he was brought.
Yeah, what they are trying to do, right?
It is